At one time, they were the largest retailer and employer in all of America. They built what was, at the time, the tallest building in the world as their headquarters. And as recently as 2011, there were over 4,000 locations. But as of December 2023, there are only 12 Sears left, and I went to 3 of them. Looking at this map, I really don't understand how it happened. It would make sense if they were all in New Jersey or something. You know, keep it regional. I could almost see the chain working that way. But they're so spread out. The Sears you remember, the one that you may even think is still open, more likely than not looks like this. Some have an uglier, newer logo. But go to your local mall and there's like a 50-50 shot that it's got an empty Sears.
Yippee.
So I thought the entire company went out of business a few years ago. I could have swore I remembered that in the news. And they did file for bankruptcy in 2018, but somehow survived it, leaving 22 of their stores open. Since then, 10 more have closed, leaving us with the 12 we have now. A month ago, I showed you the Sears in Orlando, but this time I made the trip down to Miami to visit 2 more locations. This is the location in Coral Gables. It's freestanding, it's not attached to a mall or anything. There's a sign on the outside saying, "Welcome, we're open," as if it's the shop from Clerks. But to my surprise, it was pretty lively in there. There were a lot of employees, which spooked me, and a decent amount of customers. Not a lot, considering this was December 22nd, aka 3 days before Christmas, so... If this were any other time of year, I would say that this is respectable business for about a half hour after they open for the day. Unfortunately, the elevator was out of service. This store definitely had the most amount of people that I saw in any of the 3, which is sort of ironic because it's also the only one that wasn't attached to a mall. Isn't the point of being located inside a shopping mall that it drives more traffic to your store? The escalator was out of service too, making me wonder how you even get upstairs, but just the down escalator was out. You could still go on the up one. Here we see largely the same things we saw at the Orlando location. Lots of washers and dryers, appliances, lots of mattresses. There's a tool section as well. It's all a bit sad, but I can't imagine coming here to buy tools when I could just go to Lowe's or Home Depot and have a much wider selection. The second floor was a lot better stocked than I expected. Half of it wasn't tarped off. Some of it was, as you can see here. It didn't pick up that well on camera, but for the naked eye, you can actually see through this cloth pretty easily. So a lot of it was sectioned off, but the side that they had with clothing, there was actually quite a bit of it. It was all kids stuff up here, as well as just a few other miscellaneous sections. It looks like their watch repair is not in service. Also, there's some nasty holes in the ceiling with buckets placed to catch the water coming down. It was at this point I got approached by one of the employees who asked if I was filming, and I said that I was and asked if I should stop, but she shrugged and said she didn't care, so I kept filming. Here's a weird, like, almost liminal space, as they say. With a nasty hole in the ceiling. And this is how you're supposed to get downstairs. Ooh, this rough-looking stairwell. I mean, this is intended to be like an employee back and forth, but it's opened up to the public just because the escalator's out. And yeah, whoosh. It's like a New York City subway. I really didn't linger in this place too long because, as I said, there were a lot of employees and one of them already approached me, so... This is the location at Palm Beach Gardens, connected to the Gardens Mall. And in a lot of ways, this is the saddest of the 3. Because here's the rest of the mall. It's bustling. Very nice. Working fountains. That's a rarity these days. Tons of people. Here's the interior entrance. 2 floors, both open. But once you get inside the store, man, it's kind of rough. Lots of things still in boxes. And the other Sears I went to, these grills would have been out and on display, not just in the box. I don't know what the hell's going on here. There's like a weird step ladder, just more things in boxes, just out for people to see. Mattresses not displayed very well. Rows of fridges that are, again, just in the box, where at the other stores they would have been proudly displayed. Then we've got all the sections that we would expect. The mattress section, the exercise bike section's back there. Tools over to the left. Oh, but what's that? Somebody asked in the last video about their POS systems, and I got a good look at it here, and it looks like they still do have those like 1990s beige IBM looking things. But it's next to a more modern computer, so I'm guessing that this is just legacy. It's just left over, and they don't actually use the old computer as the POS. I'm sure they use this newer one. It's hard to tell from this shot because both the monitors are off, but they can't use the old one, right? Going up the escalator, the most fun part of these. And it looks pretty rough up here. There's just walls with nothing on them. Entire racks of what should be shoes, but instead has nothing. Some walled off sections. Empty jewelry cases. What they did have was a working elevator. This one was in a lot rougher shape than the Orlando one. There's holes in the wall, the guardrail was loose, the buttons are faded, chips in the siding there. Just a really bombed out section of the store here. There's an old COVID sign telling people to stay 6 feet apart. Stains on the carpet. Not a good corner of the store. But on my way out, I saw something that astonished me. Here we can confirm that this Sears does still in fact use those 90s ass IBM looking beige computers. This dinosaur is what runs the register. Surely it would be easier to use any modern computer than to keep this thing running, right? Like in any practical sense, this is just absurd. So anyway, that's all I got. Thank you for indulging me. I really wanted to capsulize this part of Americana. Shout out to the patrons. Shout out to William Robert Lee. Never trust anyone who needs a haircut. Goodbye.